Settling is not an option for me. Everything I desire is already mine. What if you can have it all? Because every day is for the girls.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of For the Girls. I'm your host, Victoria Alario. And today we're talking about friendships or any relationships that you have in your life where you are ready to just start saying no. We are talking about when you finally realize who matches your energy in relationships and friendships versus who simply doesn't, who you invest so much more into than they do for you. And now it's your time to just start saying no. And let me just say this because I've realized as I'm like having these realizations, I've realized that this goes hand in hand with when they say like everything gets better in your 30s. And when they do say things get better in your 30s, trust me, they are not lying. I hear it every day. I always heard it. I heard it in my 20s. But I feel like when you're in your 20s, you think that's your prime. You're like, this is the hottest I'll ever be and the coolest and the most fun and whatever the case is. Like, you think, like, no, like your 20s is, your prime. No, everything gets better at 30. I know I'm new here. I'm freshly 30. I am not close to 31 yet, but it hit me that it comes with the territory. Like it comes with this age and especially this topic in particular because this is, with the friendships and the relationships and saying no and whatever, like this is something that I really only allowed myself to fully learn and implement now. So even if it's something that you've known, like if you're hearing this at 25, 20, even 19, because I know I have some young girls out here, then even better because you'll be ahead of the game. And I think at that age, like it could go two ways. Either one, I really could have used hearing this. Like I really could have used somebody telling me this and teaching me this, in my earlier 20s or my teens, whatever. But then on the other end, I feel like it maybe wouldn't have mattered because I don't even know if anyone could have told me anything at that age. Like I might have been more stubborn in the sense that like I'm not going to deny going out with my friends. I'm not going to end a friendship or I'm not going to distance myself. Like, it could go either way. I don't know 100% how receptive I would have been to this information at this age. But I will say as you get older, it's a lot easier to receive. And the thing with everyone saying, like in general, like, yeah, things get better in your 30s is because of that. It's because it requires like a mindset that comes with maturity. This is the age when you will actually have that mindset to make a change in your life, to stop dealing with bullshit, to be exhausted over things, to be over it, to be tired of it. Like I always knew this lesson in my gut. I always dealt with friendships that, felt whether it was one-sided or like they just couldn't match my energy. Like I've always had those thoughts in the back of my mind. And I have been very frustrated with friends over certain things and situations like this numerous times. But actually implementing the change into your life and actually doing something about it, I believe really only comes with maturity and life experience and getting to that stage of life where you're like, I'm just done. I'm done caring. I'm done forcing anything. Like, I'm tired. Like I just said, like, I'm over it. I'm exhausted. I'm over feeling like this at this stage of my life. Like, I'm at the stage of my life where moving forward, I have to put myself first. I have to prioritize my feelings. I have to stop putting other people first. And I have to stop prioritizing like surface level things. Like, my feelings have to come before the convenience of like being in a friend group or like having plans or like making things awkward. Like, I don't want to be that guy. Like, that's what I feel like is the age difference is like in your teens and 20s you put up with a lot more and then in your 30s you're like I'm done. And even if I knew, like even if I felt that way like subconsciously when I was younger, it just takes time to finally feel mature enough and free enough to own it and to like actually admit that that's how you feel. And This, like, it has a lot to do with friendships, because like this whole maturity thing, because when you are younger and why you do prioritize other people more is like also to benefit yourself. Like you're also trying to not like shoot yourself in the foot. Like you don't want to be the person arguing with your friends or fighting with your friends, because at that age like everyone lets things go, and like you want to go out, like you want to have plans and you want to be involved in what everyone else is doing, and you want to be going, out, and you don't want to be excluded or left out. So you put up with more even when things bother you. You tend to let it go because the norm at that age and stage of life is like, well, I'm going to see them this weekend. So I don't want there to be a bad vibe. I don't want things to be awkward. Like as you get older, like you don't see people as much. So it might be easier to just kind of pull back for a minute. But like when you're younger, you're like, but we have this coming up and that coming up. So like I have to suppress my feelings and I have to make the situation be just like water under the bridge, because I don't want to be the friend causing a problem. I don't want to be confrontational. I don't want to make things awkward for everybody else. But here's the thing. What if you don't have to do any of that? What if you don't have to be confrontational? What if things don't have to be awkward? What if it doesn't have to be this big elephant in the room issue? What if you can just clock out and just be done and just say no moving forward? It sounds so simple, but like, why was no just never an option? Instead of like, oh, I have to deal with something that upsets me and I have to let this go and ignore it because I'm going to see her this weekend, because I have to go to these plans. I don't even want to go, but I have to go, and so I'll ignore the fact that she made me upset because I have to see her. You don't have to. You can just say no. You don't have to go. Like, it's so simple yet so overlooked that no was always an option. No was always there. And it's deeper than just plans. Like I'm giving that example because I'm just referring to like examples of being younger, but it also goes deeper. It goes into just in general being there for friends, feeling like they're not there for you. But here's the thing, we need to eliminate this pattern of disappointment with people, because it's a cycle, it's a pattern. It repeats over and over and over again. It's recurring over and over and over again, where we are constantly disappointed by people, especially when you're there for everyone else. You do the most for everyone else. And you think that because of how much you did for that person, it'll be reciprocated back. You kind of expect other people to have your heart. And that creates this pattern of disappointment because people don't have your heart. It's a good and a bad thing. Everybody has to be different. So that's a good thing. But the bad part is like, then you're expecting yourself out of others. And that's why you're constantly disappointed. And you think, well, if I did XYZ for them, if I did this much for them, they'll do it back. And it's like, that's not how it works. That's not life. And it can go in any which direction, whether you're the friend who's always the listener, but you're rarely ever listened to. You're the friend who's always giving advice and helping other people and comforting other people in their issues, but you're rarely asked how you're doing. No one's ever checking in on you. You check in on everyone else. No one ever checks in on you. Or maybe you're the friend who's always showing up for your friends physically and you're always there. They say, we're going to go here, we're going to go there. Okay, I'm here, I'm there. Whatever the plans are, I'm here. But then when it's your turn, everyone's too busy. Everyone has a problem. And we let ourselves experience this for far too long because we keep doing it. We keep showing up. We keep picking up the phone. We keep saying yes, even when we want to say no. Why? Why do we do this to ourselves? Because we don't want to be seen as selfish. We don't want to be seen as a bad friend. We think if we keep loving hard enough and being generous enough and doing more and more and more, that they will finally love us back the same way and be generous the same way and do more and more and more the same way. But here's the truth. that ain't it. That's not life. And your consistent loyalty and efforts toward them is, quite frankly, only leaving you hurt. It's only making you more and more upset. You also have to question what are the intentions, like, because this can go a million different ways. Are the intentions like, I'm going to do this to get this back, or are the intentions, this is just who I am and I want to just keep giving and I want to just be loyal and do more and more and more. But then you have to face the truth of what, at what cost? Because what about having this loyalty with boundaries and saying, no, my intentions are not necessarily that I give hoping to receive, because I you can't give like that. You have to be honest and have good intentions. My intentions are to be loyal and to be generous. That's just who I am as a person. Fine. But there needs to be boundaries there. You need to know at what end like this will be, because loyalty without boundaries is self-abandonment. You are completely dismissing yourself and your feelings when you are overly there for everyone else and doing everything for everyone else and never ever ever having an ending point, a stopping point. You have to take care of yourself. So I'll say that again. Loyalty without boundaries is self abandonment. You have to have boundaries. There has to be an end. There has to be a point where you can say no and not feel guilty about it, not feel selfish about it. But when you're younger, you are willing to abandon yourself for the sake of others a lot. And it goes back again to why I'm saying, as you get older, as you hit the 30s, you're not as willing to do that anymore. Like at this age of my life, I am not willing to abandon myself for the sake of others. I am not willing to put others before myself. And I am not going to ever make myself feel guilty at this stage of my life for saying no. But I do know at that younger age, like that's the culture. It's like you just give, 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 you go, 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 you do, do, do. But again, at what cost? And I speak having so many feelings toward this because I have personally experienced this so much. Always in friendships, I was always, have always been, even to this day, like I'm always the friend who just like does whatever everybody else wants to do. I'm there. I'm always a generous friend. And I'm not only talking about money. Yes, financially generous, of course, but that's not it. It's also with time, with money, with effort, and just like being aligned with what everyone else wants to do. Because it's like, sure, if that's what you want, I'll do that because I'm a good friend and I can make this moment be about you. Even if it's not what I would necessarily want or care to do, I'll do it because it's your birthday, it's your wedding, it's your day. We're celebrating you for whatever reason. So, okay, cool. It's not about me. So, I'm a good enough friend to say, I'm down for whatever you want, even if it's not what I want, when it's your turn, 100%. As far as I'm concerned, that's a good friend. That's what a good friend does. However, I did always feel like it was never fully reciprocated back to me in that way. It's never been a simple, okay, Victoria, like, yeah, if that's what you want to do, sounds good, I'm there. How much? What time? What day? What am I wearing? Like, it's never been that. It's always like me having to like explain why I want to do this, why I want to do that. It's like, why do I have to defend what I want? Like, why can't it just be what I get? Like, why is there always some sort of pushback? Why is there always some sort of issue when it comes to me when I don't give the same pushback and issue to others when it's their turn, you know? And I just recently spoke about this on TikTok because I was talking about this situation. And one thing that has always stuck with me was my 22nd birthday. Don't ask why I can, like, like I said, I'm 30, but this is what, 88 years ago. don't ask why I can think back like to that and remember that, but like I just feel like when you have something that like hurts you or like really like I don't know, it just like sticks with you, you know, like just like those moments where people make you feel really bad, like you really just don't forget it. And granted, this is not the only time that I've ever had like an issue on my birthday, because of course in those early 20s, whenever I tried to do stuff with everyone, like there was just always a problem. But this one in particular just always like stuck with me. So of course I celebrate everybody else. Like I've said, I spent hundreds of dollars on everybody else. I go where everybody else wants to go, do what everybody else wants to do, and then it's my turn. And on my 22nd birthday, we went to a sports bar, and everybody is ordering drinks and food and pitchers of drinks, like not just like individual cups. I'm talking carafes and pitchers and like, you know, shared stuff, you know, and just tons of stuff on the menu. I remember there being like pretzels on the table, wings on the table, french fries, like, you know, bar type of food, like just everything all over the table. Group of people, big group of people. And I remember it came out to $100 per person, which is nothing in comparison to like me spending the same amount without even thinking twice about it for everybody else that was at that table, or even spending more, spending double and triple, you know, on people who planned even more elaborate things for their birthday. Like there's me who's like, okay, I want to go to the sports bar, and it's like we take an Uber there. Whereas there's others where we take a limo to the city and like we spend $100 per person on the limo alone before we even get to, you know, the club that we're going to, and we spend money there. Like so $100 on tons of food and drinks and whatever at a sports bar. Sure, for like the average person could say, "Oh, but that's a lot of money." Yeah, but I'm not talking about like in hindsight of like $100 being a lot of money. I'm talking about it in comparison to me spending $100 easily for everybody else that was there, if not double and triple and, you know, so much more. And so this is the other thing, is like this is everybody throwing everything on one tab, you know, like it wasn't a thing of like going up to the bar and saying, I'm just going to have a beer and a pretzel. Sure, that could be $15, but that's not the case when you're with a group of people and you're just ordering tons of stuff to the table, everybody on one tab. It's kind of what you have to expect, you know, like, and not to mention when it comes to the money situation, I also remember like for other people, there were always gifts involved too. Like we would have like a group chat planning the birthday, like going out, like the birthday girls in it, whatever, like here's the plans, yada, yada, yada. But then we would get like a side group chat from like the birthday girl's best friend. And like that group chat would be like minus the birthday girl. And it's like the best friend like arranging a present. Like, okay, everybody, we're going to chip in and get her a Gucci wallet. I don't know, I'm making something up. And it's going to be, you know, $50, $70 a person, whatever the case is. Again, I'm making something up. Like, so it'd be like a gift on top of like everything else. And, you know, even if you don't have the money to spend extra money on someone's birthday, like you're just stuck in that position of like, I kind of don't want to, or I kind of can't, but I have to because everyone else is doing it. Everybody else had no problem. And I don't want to be the only person not. I don't want to be that one guy who's like, no, I can't. And then me backing out makes it more expensive for everybody else. So then everybody else has a problem with me. Like, God forbid I'm that person who like causes a problem for everybody. So like, what do you got to do? Pick up an extra waitressing shift or crack open the piggy bank, you know, come up with money that you don't have and just like figure it out. Like, that's the thing at that age and stage where you're just celebrating everybody and doing everything all the time. Like, you just do it and you just make it work, and you just do the things even if you can't do the things, you just figure it out. But then, is it reciprocate? Like, is it worth it? You know, like back to my 22nd birthday, going on about, you know, this whole tangent. Sorry, lost track a little bit. I, you know, again, after already having done all this for everybody else, like I remember seeing like, okay, it's $100 per person, and everybody had a problem with that. Everybody at that table made me feel like shit. Everybody was complaining about the price, looking around at each other, like, you know, you could see people making eye contact with each other, and then they start doing the whole like, well, I didn't eat that, and I didn't drink out of that pitcher. I drank out of this pitcher, and that pitcher is $5 more. Like, I didn't have this, I didn't have that. And it's like, listen, when you are ordering and you're having all of this stuff at the table, you balance it out. Like, okay, maybe you didn't eat the side of french fries over here, but you did order the Moscow Mule pitcher, and the person who had the french fries just had a vodka soda. And maybe you didn't have the pitcher, but you ordered the wings. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it balances out. And like, everybody's looking around, complaining. Some girls went off to the bathroom to like talk in private. I remember one of the girls happened to already be in the bathroom, just like innocently using the bathroom, heard them, came out, told me so and so were complaining in the bathroom. And like, she was one of those people who like had my back, being like, I don't get it. Like, we spend this on a regular Friday night, let alone on someone's birthday. We spend this on anybody. Like, why are they doing that to you? Like, and even just in general, like, aside from being told what they were saying, like, everyone at the table, like, there was a shift in the energy, so it's like, I could read the room, I could see that I could see that the energy has shifted. It went from everybody having a great time, everybody's partying, drinking, eating, no problem. And then when it came time to pay for the partying, drinking, and eating they were doing, everybody's quiet and moody and getting up and going away in groups, like, and it just, obviously, it made me feel like shit. And it made me feel so bad on my birthday, because I'm like, wow, like, it's so crazy to see everyone complaining about spending $100 on my birthday, as if I haven't always done the same, if not more, for everybody else. Like, it's just not nice. And yet you continue doing it. Now, the thing is, like, at that age, it's birthdays. But then as you get older, enter your 30s, it's weddings and it's babies and these group settings and who does what and whatever. Like, it seems to be a recurring theme in my life. I'm sure in other people's lives. Like, yeah, sure, maybe it's not people not reciprocating the energy for birthdays, because like, whatever, we don't even celebrate birthdays anymore. But it turns into weddings and bridal showers and bachelorette parties and, like I said, babies and whatever. Like, whatever the situation is, it's like, I feel, for me, like, again, I kind of have been that friend who's like, yeah, like, I go to everyone's everything. I go to the weddings. I go to the engagement parties. I didn't even have an engagement party, but I go to everybody else's engagement party, obviously, because I didn't have the mindset of like, well, if I'm not having an engagement party, I'm not coming to yours. No, that was never the case. But like, no, I did not have an engagement party. Everybody else did. And I went to everybody else's engagement party and, gave them gifts and like whatever the case is. And the showers, the bridal showers, the baby showers, the bachelorette parties, and the weddings. And I get on planes, no matter how far things are. For bachelorettes, for weddings, I've driven 6 hours to people's to get there, or I've had to book a flight and I've had to fly to get there because it's too far to drive. And I'm booking hotel rooms and I'm spending, multiple nights, spending money as if I'm on vacation, which I'm not. I'm here to celebrate you. Like, I could have spent this money on a vacation I would want to go on, but I'm here to celebrate you. Like, I'm like, I do all the things that you got to do. I'm there for everyone, doing everything, spending every last dollar yet again. And then it's my turn. And they always say, like, when wait till you have a wedding, like, you see true colors. Like, all, like, everyone has always said that for years. Like, wait till you get engaged, wait till you have a wedding, like, then you'll really see yada yada yada. And it's like, now that it's my turn, I have kept everything as low key and convenient as possible. Like I said, one, I did not have an engagement party. Two, I'm not making anyone travel for anything. No plane rides, no multiple night stays anywhere. I didn't even ask anyone to be a bridesmaid because I didn't want to require anything of anyone. I didn't want to require anyone to spend a certain amount on a dress. I didn't want to require anyone to pay to get their hair and makeup done, or anything. I'm just like, nope, come as a guest, do as you please, like, do what you got to do. I'm having a super small bridal shower. I'm talking a 30-person bridal shower, a super chill bachelorette night. Like, it's local driving distance and it's one night. It's literally just an overnight thing. All I ever wanted was to make everything as convenient as possible for everyone else and also for myself, because I'm just not someone who like requires that much. Like I don't I really don't feel like getting on a plane. I really don't feel like traveling. I really don't feel like doing, excessive things. Like I'm always good with whatever. When it came to getting engaged, the next day we had our family celebrate literally 24 hours after being engaged, and that was good enough for me. Did not need a bigger engagement party than that. When it came to, the bridal shower, again, 30 people, didn't want more than that. And like I said, one night for the bachelorette, like could not have made things smaller and more convenient. But even in doing so, of course there is still a problem. Of course there's still complaints. Of course there are still issues, that are going on. Of course, whatever the case is, who can't come to this because the sky is falling and they just have so much going on and they're so busy? Who doesn't have the time for that? Who doesn't have the money for that? After I just spent all my time and all my money, it's like, oh, now now miraculously you don't have the time, you don't have the money. The best thing, the one that's like so common that like I heard of for many years happening to people well before I even got engaged, was like, watch all the people that you celebrate before it's your turn, and like all the weddings you go to before you go to yours, and then they all have babies after, they all like get pregnant and whatever, and then it's your turn, and now they don't come to anything. And it's like, wait, so you just happened to have your time before I got to have mine, and now that's it? Like, I'm shit out of luck because you had a baby? Like, listen, I get it. Motherhood is hard. Having a baby is hard. I totally understand that. But I don't understand like people accepting all the celebrations for themselves and letting everybody come to celebrate them and spend money on them and whatever. And then just declining this, declining that because I have a baby with really like literally no reasoning. It's not like the baby's sick, I really need to do this. Like it's just I have a baby. Period. Can't come. Baby. Period. Child. Period. So me flying to your thing or me spending time on this or me spending hundreds of dollars on you, nothing. I don't even get a gift back. Nothing. Literally nothing. Just because you have a baby. Like I was warned about this a long time ago. Like, oh, your time is coming up after a lot of people. And so a lot of those people are not going to be there for you because they're already going to have a baby. They're going to say, "Oh, no, too late." My window of celebrating people has run out. It's like, "Oh, okay." And like the moral of the story for me is like now I know how people move and I see what people do now. Like I said, people tell you weddings are gonna, show everyone's true colors. And I'm just like, oh, okay. I get it. I see the way that we move here. And you know what? Like, I'm actually not mad. I'm like getting a little theatrical for the sake of like storytelling. And I'm like, putting like my energy into this to like, make this worth listening to. But I'm going to be honest, like, I'm actually not mad at anyone. And this whole rant is like not even coming from a place of being mad at anyone. It's actually, I'm going to be honest, it's actually the complete opposite. I feel more optimistic than ever because I feel free. I am free of giving a fuck. I am free of having that feeling and like having the need to say yes. I am free of investing my generosity into others when I am barely hanging on by a thread. Like when I am barely spoiling myself, I'm done spoiling other people. And like, I'm like, oh my God, this is great knowing that other people move this way so easily, because that was always very hard for me to say no. And now I'm like, wait, you said no to me so quick? You actually just inspired me. I'm not even mad at you. I'm inspired. I will be saying no to you forever moving forward, and I feel great. And you know what? Like, I'm also not mad because you cannot blame anyone else for your own internal things and your own feelings. Like, those feelings of having to say yes and spending whatever you spend, time, money, like all the things that you choose to do, like that's on you. That's my own internal thing that I had agreed to go to every plan and I had said yes when really I could have and should have said no. I could have declined weddings and parties and plans and everything for years. I could have said no a million times over the years, but I didn't want to. I wanted to be there. I wanted to be there for my friends, with my friends. I wanted to do things. I wanted to have fun with everybody. I wanted to be involved. I wanted to be invited, as everyone does when they're younger. You know, like I cannot ever be mad at anyone for not like matching my feelings because those are my feelings. That's what I wanted. However, now as I am in my 30s, it's not what I want. And I'm completely free of feeling like that. I don't have FOMO anymore. I don't have that need to be involved. And quite frankly, I feel great about this realization that I get to take this power, I get to own this power, and I get to say no to whatever I want moving forward without having that voice in the back of my head of like guilt and like, no, but you have to, like, that's not a good friend. Like, I genuinely, that whatever voice that was, muted. I cannot even hear it. I genuinely cannot wait to say no moving forward. I've never been so excited about realizing I have the power to say no and owning that power. Because the truth is, we've always had the power, but we didn't know we could use it and still be a good person and a good friend. Depleting your energy and your bank account, mind you, because you feel obligated to say yes to everything and to everyone is not actually what it means to be a good friend. Like, that's a personal issue. That's not what being a good friend is by definition. You can support your friends and be a good friend in a million other ways, and it should not have to drain you to do so. It shouldn't end up with you feeling like shit because you just give and give and give and gave and gave and gave, and they just took and took and took and take and take and take. And then it's your turn, and you're like, where's mine? Where's everybody at? Why should you feel that way? And why should you have to experience that just to validate your goodness, just to validate that you're a good friend? You shouldn't have to be drained and depleted and upset and disappointed over and over and over again just to prove that you're a good friend. You know who you are. You know the type of friend that you are. You know your intentions. You don't have to keep proving that you're a good friend by allowing yourself to feel like shit. What's somebody going to do? Use it against you that you said, no, I can't come to your party? If that's the case, if somebody can take your no and use it against you and be mad at you and whatever, then that is on them and so be it. And that's that. It is not your fault and it is not your problem and it is not a time for you to feel guilty. Speaking of no, 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 you also don't need to explain yourself in the process of saying no. No is a full sentence. Let me say that again. No is a full sentence. You do not need to send a novel when the message is just no. You don't need to explain yourself over and over and over again when the simple explanation is no. If you don't want to pick up the phone, don't. And if you feel the need to say something, all you got to say is, hey, now's not a good time. I'll call you when I can talk. I'll call you when it's a better time. Simple. Someone forcing you to be there for them when you can barely be there for yourself right now and they just can't grasp that, goodbye, no. But if you need to say something, you say, listen, I care about you, but I really need a day to myself. Sorry you're going through that, but I really need to take care of myself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So if the answer is no, it is no. And especially if it comes down to plans that you don't want to go to, places you don't want to go, people you don't want to see because you just need to recharge and take care of yourself, don't go. And again, if you really need to say something, you simply say, you know what, I'm going to have to pass on tonight. I just want to stay in. End of. End of. I'm going to pass on tonight. I want to stay home. You don't need to explain yourself. You're not required to explain yourself. Better yet, make sure you know that, because that guilty conscience will creep in and make you think that you are required to explain yourself to people. And it'll also make you think that you are required to apologize. And that's not true for either. You don't have to explain yourself, and you don't have to apologize for protecting your peace. And guess what? In a healthy friendship or a healthy relationship, that's accepted. No's are respected, they are not resented. And if your no is not respected, maybe it's time that you reevaluate that person's role in your life. Maybe it's time that we take a step back and look at this from a wider lens and say, maybe you're not that great of a friend. And this goes back also to the whole like 30s being your true prime thing, because at this age, your confidence level is quite frankly higher than ever before. And listen, I've been confident. I've been very confident in myself, in my values, in what I bring to the table. But the level of confidence you develop in your 30s, in just like your life as a whole and just who you are, it is on another level. You do not feel the same obligations that you felt before. You don't feel the need to suck it up and just like drop your boundaries and, do whatever, you got to do. Like as you get older, the truth is you just don't care. You don't care to force anything. You don't care to force friendships, relationships. Quite frankly, anything that doesn't feel like a fit, if it doesn't seem like a natural, organic fit, if it makes you feel anything less than great, it's a no. Like you just at that age, you're just like, this doesn't make me feel good. This doesn't feel peaceful to me. So it's a no. If it doesn't feel like it's working effortlessly, if it feels like I have to put a lot of effort into this to get this thing to work or to stay in my life, then it's too much for me at this stage of my life. The mindset now is whatever works seamlessly, cool. Whoever can reciprocate with me what I do or have done for them, okay, cool. Glad we're on the same page. But whoever can't, it's okay. It's all good. I'm not mad at you. We're just not close. Like I don't need it in my life. I don't want it in my life. I don't have time for it in my life. And you can count me out. Like just trust me, don't rely on me. Like moving forward, don't rely on me. Like doesn't mean I'm mad. I'm perfectly fine. Just count me out. Like why would I choose to keep someone in my life that like constantly, like I said before, that like pattern of disappointment? Like why would I keep that pattern going? Why would I choose that? I choose the opposite of whatever that is. I don't want that in my life anymore. And the fact that I've even accepted it in my life before is on me. It's not on anyone else, because I'm the one who put that person on the pedestal. I'm the one who gave them the power to upset me and disappoint me. You can't keep putting people on a pedestal thinking that they're going to think and feel and act and behave the way you think and feel and act and behave. Because then what happens? They're going to get knocked right off the pedestal. They're only going to end up disappointing you. And truthfully, that's not their fault. We need to take responsibility for our experiences in life. And that's why I am fully making it my responsibility now to protect my energy and put it only into things that feel good and feel great. And right now, I really do feel great. Honest to God, I feel great. I feel great knowing that I'm done experiencing those feelings and those days are behind me. I feel great knowing that, like, now I'm actually paying attention to how people make me feel. I'm paying attention to who's there and who's not. I'm taking these notes, seeing who's half in and half out and who's already on their way out. And I'm collecting all this evidence and all this data for myself. So now I know next time what I want to do with this information. Next time you expect something of me, I'm going to go back to the drawing board and figure out, do I want that? No. Okay. And I have to just reiterate again, because I'm going on my bachelorette party this weekend. And so you might be hearing this and then seeing me on my bachelorette party and you might be confused. Trust me when I say I am not upset with any of my best friends. Okay, I'm a very happy girl right now. This episode is not like a subliminal message. Like, it's just people around, but I'm actually like in a great place and I'm a very happy girl and I'm very excited to spend my weekend with everyone. So if you see me out with my girlfriends and you hear this episode and you're like, wait, what? Like, trust me, don't worry about it. All is well in my world, I promise. And that is all that we have for today. So thank you, girls, so much for listening. Until next time, girls.